Hey everyone, welcome to Soulfish. I am really glad you're here. Thanks for watching and subscribing and leaving your comments. Thanks for being part of this community, and thanks for doing all the work you're doing on you, which makes you more awesome. I appreciate that, and also helps to lift the collective conscious, right? As we change ourselves, everything around us changes. This has been a pretty energetic year. I guess you could say that about every year in different ways, right? But this year seemingly more meaningful, more impactful, more critical, it feels like in some ways. And for my energy sensitive friends who have learned that they're an empath, or have known they're an empath or an intuitive, and you've been kind of feeling your gifts and somewhat believing in your gifts. You know, some days you're like, yeah, this is me, and some days you're not quite sure if what you're feeling is real or not, right? And so I wanted to speak to you guys today a little bit about what you're using your gifts for. What really are your gifts? You know, a lot of times we get caught up in a label, or, you know, we finally have figured out something we can relate to, something we can identify with, right, as it relates to how we're feeling, what we're able to sense and feel and see and experience that seems so different than what our reality is versus, you know, what seems to be a normal perception, right? And we get caught up in, I'm an empath or I'm an intuitive, and that means I can do these things. But we almost stop there. A lot of us stopped right there. And as if understanding that you have something is the same as understanding what to do with it and how to use it, right? Or, you know, it's not a parlor trick. It's not for entertainment purposes. It's about lifting yourself up and having reverence for lifting matter towards spirit. And, you know, from being an empath perspective, and being able to tap in. So, you know, from my personal experience of understanding what the flow is from an external perspective, and then feeling what it is that this other person is feeling directly inside them, right, in relation to the harmony or lack of harmony around them. You know, that's something I've honed, but it's not because, you know, the empath is what opened the door. In other words, those skill set, the gifts, the things, but I didn't stop there because it was supposed to be used for a purpose. You know, it's no difference than you understanding astrology and then you working in harmony with that. That's what you're trying to do with your empathic intuitive gifts, is to be in harmony with yourself, with you as a conduit to share, right? You are giving these gifts and then you have to share them. And I find a lot of people, you know, stop at the I'm an empath and I'm intuitive, or I'm doing it kind of this way. But to grow your gifts, which is what you should do in anything, you know, any skill set, any talent, right? There's a propensity to grow it based on your interest, and this is about your interest and free will, etc. But, you know, your spiritual practice goes hand in hand with your empathic gifts. Your empathic gifts are your spiritual practice in a lot of ways. You know, understanding that we are electromagnetic, vibration, frequency, energy, and wrapped up in things we still have yet to understand. You know, an atom is 99% empty. We see less than 99% of the visible, you know, of the spectrum. It's just this little bit of visible spectrum that we're able to actually 0.01%. Think about that. So when you're tapped in, when you're an energy sensitive, all of a sudden you're seeing more than that 0.01%. And that shows you what reality can be, and how reality is much different than, you know, this kind of 3D matter world that we're in. Gosh, I feel like this has been a bit rambly, I guess, but I guess I'm trying to express in what I'm feeling, and with everyone, is that, you know, this is about you really believing in you. This is about you finding your spiritual practice, finding your personal practice as it relates to your approach with life, how that may have shifted from previous times, right? This is about you really saying, hey, you know, defining your space in this much bigger space, and being okay with that. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because you're needed. The individualness of you, your uniqueness, is needed. This pressure, this drive, the pop culture of we are one, eliminates the value of you as the individual, eliminates the value of you with personal needs and personal expression and a personal journey. If the whole objective was for us to be one, then, personality, ego, individualness, uniqueness, individual capability, we've talked about that, just the ability to do certain things and inability to do others. No judgment in that, just, you're kind of this guy or you're this guy or whatever, and that's broken up in little pieces. Think about all of that and what that truly means. Not that we are here and everything around us is irrelevant, that it's our resource, or that we, everything is centered around us. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that everything around us has something to teach us. And if we're reverent and respectful of that, then we will grow and learn and change in an organic, natural way. Not everyone is on the same path. Not everyone is at the same speed, even if they are on the same path. It's about you finding you in the midst of all of this distraction. And so if you're gifted, if you feel like you're an energy sensitive, check out my website. You can learn more about that. We have other videos and obviously books that you can check out on our suggested reading list. But I want to encourage you to explore and to delve. I want to encourage you to work on you. And as you eliminate those hurts in you, you don't attract the other hurts in the same way. In other words, you receive in these waves, but it's not pain, it's just information. Whereas right now, for a lot of you, it's just pain. It triggers something in you and takes you down a negative karma vortex, right? So that can be changed, and I want you to know that. So this is a wonderful time. It's about you really understanding and knowing you. And I hope that's helpful.